I'm going to explain something that I've been finding myself now thinking about. It's where this teaching came from. It seems like there's a progression in time of a past, specifically a distant past, specifically the origination of anybody I'm holding in mind, and I'm holding in mind Hawkins. And it's an illusion. Forget the past. That's what the teaching of his, or the thought of the past, um, was created. And the questions, questions. What I'm seeing is an instruction, first of all, what I said. And next off, seeing it that way as cause, the distant past being the origin of your own creation, is actually the kind of thinking that will lead a naive spiritual seeker, or somebody who's very tricky and clever, into um, the astral, because it is the flimsiest rationality of how that which is a creation of God could otherwise come to be from something that happened before this moment is being caused by caused is not the right word, it's emerging. So where is it emerging from? It's emerging from the field. There is no phenomenon that takes place that is not the consequence of the field. It is all the automatic consequence of the field. That is the only power in the universe that can allow anything to manifest, and thinking otherwise takes you to the astral, because and I'm not talking about the higher astral. You can reverse and see what astral it is. Say it denies God, mystifies it, deifies it, says there's something other than God which is more God than God. Yeah. No. I will not buy that, because Hawkins said that is the lower astral. So how does this knowledge or knowingness emerge? What part of this entity says it remembers when it said? It must have said and repeated the same things that I've heard in the lectures. I believe that the way out of this trap and I'll tell you the consequences of the trap. Hypnotic states and delusions. They've been experienced by myself. And seeing Master Who falling in love with a story. The way out of the trap is to stop seeking gain. There's no other way out of the trap than to just stop seeking gain. You are where you are because of your karmic inheritance and the evolution of your own consciousness. So your questions and your thoughts and everything are, for one thing, your thoughts are worth nothing. You start with humility. For another thing, your vanity and you're putting it on a track and a program because it's familiar and because it gives juicy satisfaction of superiority, which is not superior, just spontaneously putting together these illusions. The memory is what seems to be coming from the past, okay? Because the mind was present like an inner camera to record these events. What began the search to the answer was to find out what's in her head. I knew what I experienced, and I remember now that I was experiencing incredible states. And the question was, what was in her head? Talking about the lover. The question of if there's a separate person was answered by her telling me in a car as we were driving somewhere to the coffee place I've explained and elucidated before, where I was in contact with the field. Sonder is the resistance to seeing yourself as whole and total and complete. Sonder is belief she had, this this duality of man and woman, saying that everybody you see on the street corner, in the cars, in the shops, in the stores, walking down the street or driving around, has a life that is just as intricate and complicated and just as real, real, actually real, and understood and important and valuable and true as your own. So how come I keep projecting thoughts onto myself? Huh? So the teaching, what can be learned from it, you see that what's been learned is what I've just told you or us or people. If it's your own, then that's how come you have the answers to your own questions. And it still feels like there's something missing. The source is divinity, is God. That which is listening is God. There, you just became enlightened. Without the eye of your own consciousness, nothing would even be knowable. One's own consciousness is the only eye by which anything can be known. That's how it knew it. And knows where it was known from. Right here. And no other explanation will do, because any other explanation has to do with falsehood. That which is not verifiable, that which we cannot prove, that which is based in perception, and separateness. Programs. Oh, know who I am. The entity doesn't whisper anything in my ear because there is no entity there. The will of God is not tailor-made and suited to individual wishes, which is one of the understandings that leads to successful surrender to God. Just because I want it does not mean that I have it or that I'm going to get it in exactly that way if I pray naively for changing the course of events or whatever. Just because you see it in a sequence does not mean that it came from the past and that caused this, because that's turning time backwards. That now becomes effect of the cause now. See, going from then to now. Okay, so once you see that, you're out of the lower astral, you understand the teaching. You see something about how the confusion could have arisen and how the confusion was cleared as the answer about the question that consciousness asked itself. Thank you.